Hello. All of the information discussed in this video is also available in the laminated written instructions provided to you with the home oximeter. For most children, they will cope better with the home oximetry test if they have seen the equipment beforehand, so we suggest showing them the sensor and photos during the day. However, we appreciate that you know your child best and will leave that decision up to you. Ideally, the oximeter sensor should be applied and the oximeter switched on before your child falls asleep. However, if that is not possible, then please wait for 15 to 20 minutes after your child has fallen asleep, which is when they will have gone into their deep sleep, and then try again. We do need at least 6 hours of sleep with the oximeter data recorded, and the more data recorded, the better. If you have a child who usually gets up and comes to your room during the night, you may consider sleeping with them for the oximeter test. The machine automatically records data whenever it is on and running. The machine also records the date and time. You will have been given an oximetry sleep diary. It is very important that you complete this diary, including the time the sensor was applied and the machine was switched on, the time your child fell asleep, the time of any wakings during the night to the closest 5 or 10 minutes, and also a description of what occurred during the waking. For example, they may have needed a cuddle or to go to the bathroom. Please also note the time your child woke up and the time you switched off the machine in the morning. Please remember to return the diary in the bag when you return the oximeter. Firstly, connect the machine to mains power. Connect the power cord to the back of the monitor, it will only connect in one way, and then plug into the power point. It is very important to check that you have then switched the power point on. To check that the machine is running off mains power, check that this power cord symbol is lit up on the front of the monitor. Although the machine does have an internal battery, this battery will only last for a few hours, and when the battery runs out, the machine will just switch off without any alarms or warning. The other equipment you have in the bag is the interface cable and 2 new disposable sensors. You should only need to use one disposable sensor, but we provide a spare just in case a sensor proves faulty. We also provide some extra tape for securing the leads. The next step is to connect this interface cable that goes between the monitor and the sensor. You connect the end with the pins into the front of the monitor here, noting that this connector will only fit one way because of the way the pins are arranged. Please be careful not to force the connections. Then, connect the sensor to the interface cable. To do this, insert the connector end of the sensor cable into the other end of the interface cable, just like so. Then clip over the plastic cover. Switch on the monitor by pressing the on-off button on the front of the monitor here. Note the slightly different location of the on-off button depending on which model of monitor you have received. When you switch on the monitor, you will see a red light start to shine on one side of the sensor. If you did not see the red light, please double check all your connections. The way oximetry works is that the red light from one side of the sensor will shine through the nail and skin to a special light detector on the other side of the sensor. The amount of oxygen circulating in the blood determines how much of the light gets through to the light detector on the other side of the sensor. For it to work properly, you need to place the side of the sensor shining the light on the top of the nail, with the light detector side of the sensor directly opposite the light on the bottom of the toe. Now for the application of the sensor. Although here we are demonstrating on our finger and hands, you should apply the sensor to your child's big toe. The right big toe is best as the lead will then come up along the side of the foot rather than in between toes. Now firstly, you do need to remove any nail polish. Then put the light over the nail with the light detector directly opposite under the toe. Wrap the sensor tape all the way around. Then, put some of this extra white tape over the top of the sensor. Position the lead to come up along the side of your child's big toe. Put another piece of white tape over the lead below the ankle, and then add a final piece of white tape over the lead above the ankle. This helps secure the sensor and leads in place. If your child will tolerate wearing a sock, you can put a sock over the top of it all, and this will keep everything even more secure. Now checking that the signal is of good quality on the monitor. You will see a pulse waveform moving across the front of the screen, and two numbers. The top number is the oxygen level, and the bottom number is the heart rate. If there is an issue with signal quality, an error message will be displayed on the front of the monitor, and the monitor will alarm to alert you of this. An alarm will also sound if the sensor becomes disconnected. If you hear any alarms, you can silence the alarm for 2 minutes by pressing the alarm silence button on the front of the monitor. The alarm will be silenced for 2 minutes to give you time to fix the problem, which usually involves reapplying the sensor. If you need to move away from the oximeter during the night, for example to go to the bathroom, keep the sensor in place and just disconnect the sensor from the interface cable. Please keep the oximeter on and running during this time. Please place the oximeter on the floor near the foot of the bed to prevent it from being accidentally dropped during the night. As the machine automatically records while it is on and running, you do not need to do anything else. When your child is up for the day, please pick up the oximeter, switch off the oximeter, and then switch off at the power point. Please then disconnect the interface cable from the sensor. Then, remove the tapes and the sensor from your child's foot. Please then dispose of the sensor and the tapes into the rubbish bin. Then please proceed to disconnect all of the other leads and put them back into the bag neatly. Once returned, Sleep Centre staff will then download the oximeter and clean all the equipment ready for future patients. If you have any issues, please contact the numbers provided to you in the written information. Thank you for your time.